Hong Kong's historic protests have been going on for months, with scenes alternating from huge peaceful rallies to smaller but violent clashes. What began as a fight against an unpopular extradition bill has morphed into a broader movement against Beijing's tightening grip on the semi-autonomous city. So where could the Hong Kong crisis be headed? This is your Bloomberg QuickTake on the Hong Kong protests. The movement erupted in opposition to a proposed law which would, for the first time, allow extraditions to mainland China and other jurisdictions, possibly including Taiwan. The proposal was sparked by the case of a Hong Kong man accused of murdering his girlfriend in Taiwan. He was arrested in Hong Kong and convicted of money laundering, but couldn't be sent back to Taiwan for trial because there's no legal framework to do so.
Hong Kong's government said the new law would make sure the city doesn't become a haven for fugitives. But opponents are concerned that it could open the door for anyone, including political dissidents and civil rights activists, and people worry that it would eradicate the key firewall that protects Hong Kong from China's opaque justice system.
Hong Kong's chief executive, Carrie Lam, has called the extradition bill dead, but refuses to completely withdraw it. Protesters are not satisfied. Their demands have grown wider, including Lam's resignation, more democracy, and an independent inquiry into alleged use of excessive force by the police.
The city's leader, Carrie Lam, still hasn't met a couple of key protester demands. As the summer grinds on, the rhetoric of her backers in Beijing is getting harsher. A spokesman for China's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office said protesters have committed serious crimes and even showed signs of terrorism.
In the past few months, protesters joined together in massive marches and rallies, staged a general strike, blocked roads and swarmed the airport, forcing the cancellation of hundreds of flights. Violent clashes broke out in different parts of the city, with some protesters throwing bricks and petrol bombs. Police have fired more than 2,000 rounds of tear gas and hundreds of rubber bullets. Hundreds of protesters have been arrested, dozens of them are charged with rioting, which carries a term of up to 10 years in prison. There's been a seemingly unprovoked attack on pro-democracy protesters by mysterious assailants, which sparked fears that crime gangs were doing Beijing's bidding. Attacks on mainland Chinese men during a pro-democracy rally at the airport heightened tensions further.
The protests have begun taking a toll on the economy, especially retail and tourism. More than $600 billion of stock market value has been erased since early July, and the economy contracted more than originally estimated in the second quarter. So beyond GDP, the worry is that this is going to damage Hong Kong's reputation as a safe and reliable commercial hub in Asia.
China promised to allow a high degree of autonomy in Hong Kong until 2047, which guarantees free speech and capitalist markets. But the protests have raised questions about whether Hong Kong's freedoms will last that long.
While speculation has grown that President Xi Jinping will mobilize troops to quell the unrest, analysts are saying that remains an unlikely scenario. He would face fallout from a military intervention that would potentially be a lot higher than dealing with the repercussions of the protests. U.S. lawmakers, for instance, could revoke Hong Kong's special trading privileges, and that would worsen the overall outlook for China's economy, just as Xi's trade war with Trump escalates. What might happen next depends on how many concessions and when both Carrie Lam and her opposition are willing to make.